Welcome back to Follow the Figures. This is Dave. We're doing our second race in the same day today. This is, again, it's 10:19, and we're doing Belmont 6th right now. And what I did was, the stage I'm going to start at in this video, I did my initial sweep, and if you noticed, I eliminated the 2, the 4 is a scratch, the 8, and the 9, the 10, the 11, and I even eliminated the 12. The 12 is a morning line. I'm going to go out on a limb here. The 12 is a morning line 5-2 favorite. But, you know, this is a 5.5, I'm sorry, this is a 6.5 or 6 furlong sprint. 6 furlong sprint on the inner turf. I'm going to show you why I eliminated it. Okay, when I'm looking at horses, I'm trying to figure out, is it going to be easy for me to get the information that I want? And the answer is either going to be yes it is or no it's not on a particular horse. And if the answer is no it's not, I'll look for reasons why I should just keep them anyway, or I'll pass the race if I see odds at 5-2. But since I'm not playing this race, it's for the video's sake. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to scratch this horse for a couple reasons. One, he's coming off a dirt race at Arlington Park. We have to go back to July 1st. His last race was a 5 furlong at Arlington Park. Yeah, his form was good. Then we go Churchill. And what I'm getting at here is I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the fact that he's at early speed. He's going to try for the lead, but he's coming out of the 12 now. And it doesn't mean he's not going to get the lead, but he's going to have to use himself more than when he was coming out of the 2, the 3 here, the 2 here. If you notice, he comes out of the 8 here, he doesn't get the lead. Comes out of the 6, you know, he doesn't get the lead. Comes out of the 7 here, but there's only 7 horses in the race. He ends up inheriting the lead. And there's just not enough for me to say, you know what, let me really focus on this, because now when I'm trying to get my speed ratings from him, I'm going to have to add fractions or add time to the end of these races, 5 furlongs, maybe add 13 seconds to give a 6 furlong estimate. Too much. So I just threw the horse out. And the other reason why I threw him out is because I found who I think is going to be my speed horse, the 1 horse. Okay? I'm looking at this 45 flat, 2 races back at Saratoga, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. So as you can see, I set my grid up. I have 5 contenders. Being I only have 5, I could take a little bit of time here on this video, again, to break down as far as recording these figures go. Let me make this a little bit larger so we can see it. And with the 1 horse, my projected speed horse. The best on the year was a 76. His best on today's surface, which is the turf, is an 87. Okay, so that's where I'm getting the first 2 columns from. Best at the distance, okay, is an 87. And his last out was a 76. Now I move 2 more over and I look for the last out and see if I have to adjust it. In this case, I don't have to adjust it because I'm looking at the last 3, and the 76 was not the highest of the 3. It was tied with the third 3-back 76. So I'm gonna put a 76, and for these here, I'm gonna put the last 3 down as they appear, as well I'll always do. Early speed was a 23. I make a 22 as a standard 100. This is 1 second off, so that would be a 95. Again, 1 point off of 100 for every 1/5 of a second off of the standard, which would be a 22. My standard for the late fraction is a 23. This is actually a 1 tick faster. So this would be a 101. Okay, so not only is he going to be my speed horse, right now he's showing that he has a little bit of a late kick as well. 2 was eliminated. Now I go to the 3. I have an 89 for best on the year. And I also have a 89 for the best on a turf, right? On the turf. 89 best at the distance. His last out was an 80. Now, in this case, I'm going to adjust this 80. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm looking at these last 3. At first, let me see if there's a reason that I can get rid of that 69. Okay? I'm seeing that a comment here, squeeze back. All right. And the reason I said, let's see if there's a reason I get rid of that 69. I'm looking at all these figures here, and that's the only figure that's in the 60s. And, you know, when I do an average here, it's not going to kill that horse's average at all, whether I use the 69 or I go back and use the 75, because it's an average of the three. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm still going to have to adjust this 80, because the second highest, it's the highest of these three, 80, 77, and 75. So I'm going to split the difference between the 77 and the 80, which I could go and I could use decimals in here, and I can make that a 78.5, which I will. I don't really do that. I usually make it a 78. I usually go closer to the second highest rather than one up and making a 79, but I'll go 78.5. And then I'll mark them down as I see them. 80, 77, 75. It's early speed. 22 and 4, which is a 96. 23 and 2, which is a 98. Now I'll move down to the 5 horse. Here we're looking at 85. 85. Now this horse never ran 6 furlongs on the turf, so I'm gonna find what I can use as the closest. And the closest is obviously going to be a mile. So I'm going to find the best mile. We have a 78, a 78, a 79. This one's 63. It wasn't on the turf. An 85. So it turns out the 85 is actually his best at closest to the approximate distance. And his last out was a 77. Now, no need to adjust here. We have a 77. We have the 85 in there. We have another 77. 23 is a 95. 1 second off of 22. And we have 4 ticks off of 23, which would be a 96. And I hope you're getting this here, what I'm doing. If not, please put a comment below, and I'll get a little more thorough, or I'll make a video that really focuses simply on this. 85 for best of the year. 88. Oh, yeah, 88 for best on the surface. 83. Best at the distance. 84 last out. And I need to pause here for a second. Sorry, I had a phone call that I had to take. Okay, again, we're here. Last out, adjusted. No adjustment needed. We have an 84, but we have followed by an 85. 96. 96. And our last contender, which I believe are the contenders, 87. 89. And again, we don't have 6 furlong race on the turf, so we're going to go with the mile again. And looks like the 87 again is the tops there. 87, 75. We have 75, 87, 73. Oh, wait a second here. 75, 87. Now, I'm looking here and I'm saying, I see in the comments bumped at the 1/16th. And I'm looking at this race, and this race is his lowest figure out of all these races. So I'm going to give him a pass there, and I'm going to use the 83 in the next figure. So we have a 75, an 87, and an 83. And his early speed would be a 5. That's actually 9/5 off of 22, a whole second, and 4/5. So that'd be a 91. So nothing impressive on the front end. And the back end, 88. Okay, so let's evaluate. We have top point getter, 699, the 6 horse. The 101 late speed on the 1. We have the 3 and the 6 both tied with the early speed, but it's only by one rating point, because we have the 95s right here. So they're going to be marked as also eligibles when we get there. We have an 83. We have an 84. So right now the 6 is really standing out for us. 69, 178. And let's find our also eligibles. And again, I'm not going to make this video, I'm not going to make this a point in this video as far as what I'm doing here. I mentioned it in a few of my others of what qualifies for an also eligible in each of these categories. So I'm just going to go, and again, for the sake of keeping this video under 15 minutes, I'm just going to go mark them. Nothing there. Okay, we have here. I'll even give the 98. Okay, and our top 4 point getters. And since I narrowed this down to 5 horses, 5 contenders, I'm going to go with the top 3 point getters. I'm going to look and see how I evaluate. And again, I'm not even going to look at odds. I'm not going to look at odds. Right now, the 6 horse and the 1 horse would be my top 2. But I'm going to look at morning line odds, though, right now, just to determine. 6 morning line is 9-2. The 1 is 4-1. Okay, so they're both respectable morning line odds. And because it's a sprint distance and not a 2-turn, I see the pace setter is the 1. Probable pace setter. Again, we have that 12 horse that we eliminated. You know, if that happens, that happens. But I'm going to go with the 1 and then the 6. 1, 6, 5, actually 3. Okay, we see some blue here, plus top early. So I'm going to go 1, 6, 3, and 5 as our top 4. And the morning line on 3 was 8-1, and the morning line of 5 was 5-1. So when that race is about to go off and they're getting in the gate, we'll take a look. Okay, with 4 minutes before the race goes off, let's take a look real quick on how things are going odds-wise. Again, we had, where's this race at? Belmont 6th. We had the 1635. Right now, the 1 is at 10-1. I hope it holds that way, because again, I'm thinking the 1's going to be in the lead. And this late speed figure right here of a 101, you know, it could be enough to take him to the wire as well. The 6 horse is 9-2. It's matched his morning line right now. The 3 right now is the favorite off a morning line 8-1, 8-5. But let's take a look real quick at the past performance on the 3. The 3 horse was an interesting one because his last 2 races were on the main track, okay, and he had a race here on turf, August 20th, at 1 mile. But as you can see, it was a pitiful race. He was squeezed back. So I couldn't use that to get a figure. Then I'm going back here again. We have another 5.5 furlong on the main track. So I had 2 options. I had an option to get a speed figure off of this race all the way back June 29th, or go and use the dirt race from Belmont and adjust it. What I usually do when I adjust the speed rating from a dirt race to a turf race, I'll usually add a second. So even adding a second to that 23 to a 47 would be a 24. I mean, subtract a second, not add a second, if I'm going from dirt to turf because of the faster surface. So that would actually be a 23 instead of a 24. And then when I adjust it, he actually gained a length. So that's where I came up with the 22 and 4. But out of curiosity, if I were to use this race all the way back here, what would I have gotten as an early fraction on the turf? I would have got a 22 and 2 to a 25, which is also a 22 and 4. And if I adjust that, no adjustment needed. 3.5 out, 3.5 out. It would still be a 22 and 4. And then let's see, the late fraction here was a 47 to a 111.4, which is a 24 and 4. Take a second off, which would be 23 and 4. And he also gained 2 lengths. So it would be a 23 and 2. Back here, it would be a 14 and 4 to a 108, which is a 22 and 1081, which is that's a 23. No lengths gained or lost, so it would actually be a 23. So it's pretty darn close. So we kept that right now, and I don't know if that's what the public is seeing or not, but that horse is the favorite right now at 9-5. And again, we have the 1 and the 6 as our two top selections. And again, so this video doesn't go too long, I'm going to pause, and we'll get back when the race is about to go.
They are all in line.
Okay, ready to go. Ooh, and the 1 got a bad break.
Warfare and Awesome Quick did not have good starts. Gaga Over You did and goes out to the front.
And there goes
Same
the 12
kind of
to the
crazy
front.
is away running in second. Tearless is third of the inside.
See what happens
and it's
here.
Alabama Bound, Sandy
12
Bell,
did
and
get
right
the
behind
lead
them,
here.
Bowtown Cat. Miss Asia Brown is going up outside of horses. Awesome Quick, slow out of the gate, is now 6 lengths off the lead inside of China Rider. And then it's back to Warfare. And the trailer up the backstretch is Free and Clear. And the leader is Gaga Over You. 23.12 was that first quarter mile. And now there on the outside goes Miss Asia Brown, rushing up alongside and grabbing the lead on the far turn. Then it's Same Kind of Crazy, third by 2.5, followed by Tearless. Bowtown Cat, Awesome Quick on the inside is next. Alabama Bound is going up 4 wide, and then Sandy Bell, China Rider, Warfare, and Free and Clear. 46.17 the half. They're into the stretch. Miss Asia Brown. And now coming through on the inside is Same Kind of Crazy.
Here comes our closers.
Same Kind of Crazy has taken the lead. Miss Asia Brown is second.
Here comes our 5 and 6.
And
Will they
Alabama
have
Bound
enough?
finishing well down the center. China Rider 2 on the far outside.
Here comes our 5 and 6
Cat,
and our
coming
3.
down to the line. Here comes Alabama Bound down the center of
6,
the course to
5,
get there.
10. We got
and
it.
A photo with Tearless.
Woo,
and then it was
6
Same
horse.
Kind of Crazy and China Rider.
At 4-1. Looks like it was a 6-5, 10-3 finish. And we had the 6 as our top selection.
Photo finish, hold all tickets, final time 1 minute 10.26
and we had the 5
seconds.
as our 4th selection. So if we were playing there, we probably would have had the exacta, okay, at the very least. Unless we got creative and we played a bunch of different tries. But again, the 10 horse, I had the 10 eliminated. And the 10 ran a good race. The 1 horse did not run its race because it didn't get out. In fact, it broke last out of the gate. Almost fell to his face. But 6-5. 6-5 would have been a nice exacta. 5 going off at 11-1. 6 at 4-1. So until next time on Follow the Figures, happy handicapping.